Welcome, Netrunners, to another episode of PeachHack. My name is Ben from North Georgia Netrunners, and we are going into the last game of the last round of the Ravens Nest Store Championship, Game 2 of Round 5. There was no cut at this tournament, so this is the absolute last game of the tournament, and these are two of the top players at that tournament. On the left, we have Ahmed, who is going to be running this game as Kate McCaffrey, who can lower the install cost of the first programmed piece of hardware. She installs in turn by one. And she will be running against Pacer's Jinteki Replicating Perfection, where you have to make a run on a central server before you can run on a remote. Both of these players very high in terms of record. Now, Ahmed is coming off of kind of a rough game from Game 1. You can check that out. That was posted just previous to this one. And Pacer, on the other hand, is running strong. And I'm pretty sure he basically has to win this game in order to clinch the first place prize. Ahmed, unfortunately, I don't think can make first place, but can at least try for a top 4 finish to get the playmat and all the goodies. But we're starting off now. Pacer setting up his servers, icing up those centrals.
I'm gonna coach over here.
Replicating Perfection, very taxing deck in terms of clicks and economy. But we do have Ahmed playing as Kate, especially with the prepaid voice pad archetype, can make a lot of money really fast. We do have that lucky find coming out, no prepaid voice pad before that. But money is money, and a Mimic, that's what we want to see against Replicating Perfection. Get rid of those Sarugis and Kamainus. They're still expensive, but at least you can deal with them. You don't have to be terribly afraid of them. So we got money. We got our first breaker. And nothing really coming out yet for Pacer. But it's a little bit of a slow burn sometimes going for Replicating Perfection. Takes them a little while to set up, but it's okay. Because what they do set up is very strong. Ahmed, on the other hand, seems to be content to draw up, getting pieces of his rig, getting money. And that's what you need. You need money. You're going to need a lot of money for Replicating Perfection. That new remote is a pad campaign, and I wouldn't be surprised if that stayed up the whole game, because that takes a lot of energy to just go run and trash it. It takes 2 clicks to go to run a central and then run it, and spend 4 credits, assuming that the central run was free. Right now, Archives is open, so those are free runs there. But if you're an RP player, you don't want any of those central runs to be free, so I'm sure it'll be iced up eventually this game. Instead, Pacer is content to ice up HQ a bit more. Perhaps he is holding agendas. Perhaps he wants Ahmed to think he is holding agendas. We got Azul, which Ahmed can install for free because of Kate, which is pretty cool. Decoder becoming more and more important these days. Merlin, a new Grail Ice, is a decoder or is a code gate that deals net damage and could potentially do other nasty things. And there's also the new checkpoint coming up in Order in Chaos, which is a code gate that can deal meat damage on a successful run, which is kind of scary. And it looks like Ahmed, he discarded a stim hack. He didn't play it, he just discarded it, which is a fun include. Always a surprise, 9 credits. You think that people can't get in your server, and suddenly you do. Drops an Astrolabe. Nice to have that early. Gets free draws on new remotes. A great little console that came out recently. A good boon to shapers who just needed an extra memory. And basically kind of replaced Akamatsu membership. Though not entirely, because you're allowed to have Akamatsu and Astrolabe. But if you only need one membership, you just replace it with Astrolabe and you're good. No runs yet, really, coming out for Ahmed yet. He's got 2 breakers. Is he waiting for a barrier breaker before he tries to make runs? Or is he just not worried about what Pacer can do yet? Though Pacer does establish that remote. Okay, it's a Sundew. Trash the Sundews. Sundews are very important to trash, but it is protected by ice. It is protected by effectively 3 pieces. Well, not 3 pieces. Archives is a free run. So not necessarily. And he's got a barrier breaker there. He's got a lady in hand. And he's got lots of money. Does he want to trash that sundew now, though? You kind of have to. I mean, it'll snowball real quickly if you're not careful. Deus Ex, also very important. Not quite as important against replicant infection as opposed to, say, personal evolution. But still useful. We did see a game earlier in this tournament where a player had all 3 sundews and pad campaigns and mental health clinics, getting lots of money on their turn. It was insane. And Ahmed just decides to lucky find, get more money. Decides to leave that sundew alive for now. And I suppose, well, depending on how you want to. Oh, the enhanced login protocol. Oh, man. One of the best cards, I think, to come out in the Lunar Cycle. Especially for this archetype. Clone chip coming out for Ahmed. But yeah, enhanced login protocol, having to spend 2 clicks on your first normal run is extremely, extremely taxing. It takes just so much energy to get into a remote. In fact, you'll see a lot of people who will play singleton events currents, in their runner decks specifically to counter enhanced login protocol. We do have Mr. Jackson out for Pacer though, and help him dig up some. And Ahmed goes ahead and starts drawing while Pacer starts discarding. Another clone chip. Pretty big hand size at this point. Ooh, dirty laundry into archives. What do we got in there? Now, we did see in the other game that Pacer has shocks. Yes, and there is a shock. 1 net damage. I think that's a great idea in Replicating Perfection. If you have an open archives, you just invite them. So sure, you want to make an easy run on a remote, then go through the central. It's wide open. Oh, you took net damage. I've also seen Excalibur over archives going out for Pacer, which is also fun. It's a surprise where they hit archives because it's going to be easy and then to go somewhere else. But nope, you're stopped. You can't make another run. Too bad. No scoring remote really for Pacer. I don't think he'd probably want to trash the Sunday for that. But we do have a new remote. Ahmed gets a free draw. Now what could that be? I don't know if Pacer is bold enough to put out an agenda without Caprice or Ash support. Ooh, self-modifying code into Maker's Eye. We see Kamainu. We do have all 3 breakers out now for Ahmed. And he pays with Mimic to get through Kamainu. And there's an Architect. It'll cost 2 more to get through. He'll see 3 cards. 1, 2. Trashes Jackson Howard. And there's a Future Perfect. They're playing the side game. Classic Future Perfect. Self-defending card. 2 to 1, looks like. And the Future Perfect stays. That would have been a really important pull if Ahmed was able to get that, because it gets rid of the enhanced login protocol. Alas. Now what will he do? So that run didn't take 2 clicks because it wasn't Maker's Eye, which is nice. I wonder what he wanted to self-modify code for. He's got the Deus Ex in hand, I think. Unless he... Well, trashing it wouldn't make it different. He could clone chip out the Deus Ex. He would be over MU, though. He's using out 5 MU. Yeah, I'm really curious as to what he's planning on SMCing for those runs. That's interesting. Well, What does he have in his heap that he can clone chip out? I don't even know if he has any programs in there, now that I think about it. He's got a lot of... Oh, he's got the Deus Ex section in there. I missed that. So he could clone chip that in if he overwrote the SMC. We see a legwork in hand as well, and a Parasite. He could Parasite the Kamainu, and it would be dead next turn. Oh, there it goes. Yep, Parasite on the Kamainu. I think that's a great move. Next turn, it will be dead. No more taxing. Oh, and Pacer pointing out that Parasite puts him over MU because the Parasite does count against. Memory usage, a very common mistake, easy to miss, even for experienced players like these two. But, yeah, that SMC wasn't really doing much, I don't think. I would be curious as to find out what he was going for with that, though. A card goes into that remote, and it's advanced once. Pacer confident that it can stay unstolen. I'm not sure what they're talking about here. Oh, he installed advanced, and he's putting out another ice. I think Ahmed was confused about how many clicks he had left. Anyway, very protected scoring remote now. And there is a shock in archives. Do you pay 2 to hit R&D for your central run? And of course, you have to use 2 clicks in order to do that. He does have a legwork in hand. Maybe that could be the token central run. Actually, there it is. Yeah, there you go. He's got $9. Pacer has 12. If only the legwork came out a turn sooner, we might have been able to see what that agenda was. We got a Lotus Field over HQ. That could be broken with our friend Zool, which will be its strength 4, so I think it'll be, 4 to break? 3 to boost, 1 to break. And the pup. Yep. Everyone's favorite taxing ice out of Jinteki. Only buck to res and pays 2. It requires him to pay 2. And looks like he clone chipped. Oh, clone chip Parasite from Ahmed to get rid of it right away. If you're going to pay 2, you might as well pay 2 from a Parasite instead of just paying 2 to get through. Accessing 3 cards with this legwork. First one looks like a celebrity gift. Project Junebug. Ooh, that is dirty in Replicating Perfection. You install advance once, force them to run something. Or even advance twice, make them think it's a Future Perfect or something. But get that out of here. No shenanigans with that. But no agendas. That was a run, though, so he can hit a remote. I think he'll have to spend 2 clicks to do it. He'll go for the scoring server. He only has 4 credits. Pacer has 6, though. Now, if that is a Caprice behind the remote, he's got to have 2 to res the Caprice. Okay, so this is only a pup. Will cost 1 to res and 2 for Ahmed to get through. Now, if that is a Caprice, then Pacer will have to have 2 to res the Caprice and 2 to play the side game. So Ahmed will... He could pay 2 to get through the pup, and then he'll have 2 left over for a side game. Or it could be an Ash. My guess, though, is Caprice, based on what I've seen out of Pacer's deck so far. Caprice is abnormally good at keeping central servers protected. You would think, oh, it's a 1 in 3 chance of accessing. No, it seems to be a lot worse than that somehow. For whatever reason, it seems like the runner almost never wins Caprice games. I don't really get why. At least in my experience, when I watch them, it's just fail. Could be a little bit depressing. And Ahmed opts to clone chip Parasite the pup. Oh, no. Changed his mind? No, he keeps the clone chip and decides to just pay. Saving the Parasite for something else. He has a limited number of clone chips. Does Pacer want to res this ice? If he wants to do Caprice and side game, then it can only have a cost of 1. There's the Caprice, cost 2. And he does not res that ice. And the side game commences. Will I be proven wrong, or will side games be proven true once again? We've already had one runner loss of a side game. And 0-1, runner loses, alas. And Ahmed will not be able to make that run again. Because I think it was 2 clicks, or that was the end of his turn, yeah, and it was Pacer's turn. That was the other point, is that if Pacer wanted to score out whatever that agenda was, assuming it is an agenda, we didn't see June bugs, he had to stay at enough money in order to spend 3 to advance it out. And there it is. There's the Nisei. He's at 2 points, and he's got a Nisei token. With your enhanced login protocol Nisei token, that is going to be a tough battle to come back from on Ahmed's part. You almost kind of just need to hope you rip something out of R&D or something like that. And get lucky to get rid of enhanced login protocol. Only for the Corp to put another one down, which is so sad. It looks like he was about to do a run. Maybe to try to kill the Caprice. But he only has 1 credit. Maybe he's rethinking that. Oh, of course he can't run there because, okay, I see. He can't make the run on the remote until he first does a central. So 2 clicks to run on the central. He eats 2 net damage from the pup. Okay, so he's doing that to force the Corp to pay 2 credits to keep Caprice alive. Interesting choice. I guess if you don't care about the cards in your hand, you can do that. Though he does get a credit at the beginning of his turn. I'm not sure how great of an idea that is. I think Ahmed was telling me that after the previous game, it just went poorly for him, so he was kind of on tilt a bit. And wonder if... Well, I mean, like I said, I don't think it's a terrible idea, but it just feels to me like Ahmed is playing a little bit haphazardly. I think he really, really wanted that win. And it can happen. Sometimes you can let your nerves get to you. Netrunner tournaments, it happens. They could be... I mean, this is 5 rounds of Swiss. We've been playing for like 6 hours already by now. Which, I mean, there have been longer Netrunner tournaments, but it's still a long time. We have another pad campaign making its appearance for Pacer, getting 2 credits on his turn and 2 credits on his opponent's turn. And that is why those recurring credits can just snowball into an unstoppable force of credits. Icing up archives. No free run. Of course, at this point, if you're just making a central run, just for the sake of making a central run, HQ is the way to go because you can safely bounce off that Lotus field. I wonder if Pacer is going to see that and want to make that more dangerous to run against. Plays a same old thing to do a lucky find, which turns into 3 credits, or 3 clicks for 6 credits, which is like hitting Magnum Opus 3 times, I suppose. If you need money, it's a good way to do it. Another agenda going down to that remote. Install advance twice. It is probably a 3-pointer, unless, of course, it's a June bug. It's kind of one of the scary things where you see that trap early, and now you have to question everything. Pacer has a lot of money. And click 1, he is going to hit R&D. Only has to pay 2 to get in. Sees nothing. That was clicks 1 and 2. And now he can spend click 3 to go to that remote. Indeed he will. Now, Pacer has a lot more money, and he could res something. So he'll pay the 2 to get through pup. And we have another Kamainu. Does Ahmed still have that? He does still have a clone chip that he can use on Parasite. So it's lucky that he had that round, that he didn't use it on pup. He'll probably want to clone chip Parasite that at some point. Maybe not now, but before the end of his turn if he maintains enough money. He's got 5 cards in hand, so Kamainu is going to cost 5 to get through. But he needs to play a side game, so he might only pay 4. So that he keeps 2, and he's going to take 1 net damage. Only 1 net damage, not 2. Come on, Pacer. Come on. Oh, Pacer says that he'll just do the, because the lady is probably like one of the least important cards in Ahmed's hand, and I think both the players know that. So Pacer just says just do the lady, because the lady's already out there. He can clone chip lady back in if he needs to. I don't even know if Pacer even has any barriers in his deck. We've only seen Code Gates and Sentry so far. But a failure on the side game means that the corpse stays strong one more time. We could see another run if Ahmed wants to lose his entire hand. He can make 1 more side game. Yeah, so he loses 2 for the pup and the rest of them to the Kamainu. You kind of want those to be in the other order, because losing cards to the pup just makes Kamainu cheaper, because Kamainu doesn't kill by itself. Another side game. Now, what do you do at this point? You kind of want to keep 1, I think, as Ahmed, so that you can kill Caprice. So it's either going to be 0 or 1. Oh, 0 for Ahmed, and it looks like 1, I think, for Pacer. And Caprice and the agenda live. Advance 3 times. And we see a feature perfect. It was that one probably that he drew before that they played the side game for earlier in the game. And, well, this game is kind of getting away from Ahmed. 5-0, and Pacer has an Issei token still to use. I mean, as soon as Ahmed wins a side game, finally, then Pacer can just use an Issei token and install advance twice. This is not going well. Dirty Laundry on R&D. So that's going to be a run through a card ability, so it's only 1 click. No agenda on top, though. And that took all his money to do that. But, he got 5 back from it. So he has money. I think he's thinking he should have Parasite at the end of the turn, or end of last game, in order to kill the Kamainu. Possibly a mistake there. So he goes through, loses his hand. He wants to try to get in there. So the run was clicks 1, and then 2-3 is this run on the remote because of enhanced login protocol. This is a huge side game. Actually, it doesn't even matter, because if Ahmed wins it, then Pacer will just use the Issei token. And I think that pretty much clinches the game. I don't think Ahmed can win at this point, assuming that is an agenda. He did win the side game. It was 0-0, but then Pacer just uses the Issei token. And Ahmed doesn't have a hand, so he can't get through the pup. Or actually, no, he can go 1 more time, because he can pay through the pup. He doesn't have a hand, so Command doesn't make a difference. So 1, oh man, 1, 2, I think 2, and there it is. 3 points for another feature perfect. Good game. Man, Replicating Perfection is such a taxing deck. It is so good right now. A lot of people talk about how powerful Near Earth Hub is. I would say Replicating Perfection is absolutely up there next to Near Earth Hub as one of the best decks in the game right now. In terms of just how effective it is at slowing the runner down and making them make bad decisions, making them not able to do the things they want to do. It's very good, but great games between these 2 players, and that does mean that Pacer has clinched his position as the #1 player at this tournament, and Pacer is the first place champion at the Raven's Nest Store Championships from January 4th, 2015. Thanks, everybody, for all of you. If you watched all of these videos, thank you so much for watching. I'll put the link up here if you want to watch the tournament from the beginning. And I've got videos coming up of our next store championship from Gigabytes Cafe that happened January 24th. So those will be coming up in the next few weeks. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. And thanks for watching.